guys and gals, and welcome to the February 26th episode of Morning Coffee and Chat. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We've got, what, 3 days left in February? Apparently. Oh, man. Ah, God, where to start? Where to start? Where to start? I hope everybody, like I said, I hope everybody had a great weekend. I did. I managed to get a lot done yesterday, and man, I am working on one of the craziest and funniest um, videos for Thursday. I'm just going to say that the title of it is "This is History?" Question mark, question mark, question mark. Morning, Deb. Morning, Tony. Morning, Car. Morning, Jan. Paranormal Chop Shop. Good to see you. You guys are going to be hearing a lot of squeaky brakes and diesel engines in the background. It is trash day here in southwest Michigan, in our little town. And apparently, they feel like they missed something last week because it they've been running for 2 hours already. And I mean, that's all. I've been trying to do some recording this morning and stuff, and I woke up at what, 5:30, 5 o'clock, something. No, it wasn't. It was like 4:45. I woke up, and I tried to lay back down, couldn't. But yeah, I mean, ever since 5 o'clock, 5:30, I've been here, going up and down the alleys, and I don't even try to keep track of them anymore. Oh, I think. Thank God winter's ending. Yeah, tell me about it, man. We're supposed to be up near 60 again today. And it was nice yesterday. I mean, I just had on a light sweater, running around, taking things out to the kids and getting them all organized and stuff. And whew. Let me see here. I thought the sounds were coming from your body. Um, uh, give me a little. Give me a. I can make it work. I can make it work. Oh, let me see here. We have 70 for the next couple days. Unless they change the schedule, or change the schedule, unless they change the forecast, uh, God only, God only frickin' knows around here. Let me see here. We might be real close to that. Oh yeah, 62 for high today. 60. Not what'd you jump ahead for like that? 62 for high today. 70 for a high tomorrow with rain. Go figure. I did get the warning earlier that um, damn, train of thought derails. 10,000 brain cells dead. Film at 11. Um, we did get the warning earlier today that there was going to be isolated thunderstorms in the area within the next 24 hours, and I think they're going to be tonight because we're showing a chance of rain tonight, rain 60% tomorrow, and then Wednesday 37 for a high, 41, 46, 61, 68, clear through Sunday. So it's up and down. Winter's trying to creep out the door, and Mother Nature keeps kicking it in the ass and knocking it right back in again. So I don't know. We'll see. So Drew did. You did the CB thing in the past? Yes. Yes, I've done the CB thing. My truck had a CB. My Camaro had a CB. My dad's truck had a CB. It's getting nice here where I am. Are you familiar with SWR? Yeah, I used to swear on the CB all the time. I don't know. What's SWR? I've never heard that before. Good morning, Masha. Good to see you, love. I hope you're doing fine up there in Ontario. I believe I'm getting that storm on Wednesday. You might. Who knows? Thunder and lightning warnings next 2 days. Let me see here. Good morning, Sarah. Work's been, let's just say that I've not slowed up trying to get the pizza shop open. I'm still looking for investors. With me not working for the last 7 years, they're not going to give me a loan. My mom even went to her bank with her excellent credit to try to get a loan, and then me just make the loan payment each month. And they're talking, oh, well, he needs X number of years having a business to get a business loan to open a business. It's kind of like going to college to get a degree in a certain thing, but to get that job, they want you to have experience, but you can't get experience if you don't have a job. It makes no sense to me. But the personal loan thing, they only want to do a personal loan for 10,000, and it's like, well, that'll buy all my equipment, but that won't buy, you know, it won't pay the down payment or anything like that. But yeah, it's been, people come in to have me cook for them, but since there's 3 people for the kitchen, I can't be there every day. So the days I'm not there, people actually walk in, look in the kitchen, see who's there. If I'm there, they sit down and order. If I'm not there, they leave and go someplace else. But what do you do besides open your own business, and then people can see you there all the time? Oh, standing wave ratio. No, actually, I talked on it, man. I hooked it up. I made it work. I talked on it. And, that's about as much as I've done with my CBs. Enjoyed your history video. Why, thank you, Masha. The one I was just saying at the beginning of the stream, the one I'm working on right now for Thursday. I would encourage each and every one of you. Um, I would encourage each and every one of you to have a stiff drink, maybe 2, and smoke a doobie before you sit down and watch the video on Thursday, which is exactly why I've titled it "This is History?" with 3 question marks. So, yeah. Oh my God. I'm the brown cow and a white cow. We're working 5 days a week. This business is picking up. They actually got me scheduled 5 days this week. 20, but it's still going to figure out 20, 22 or 23, 24 hours, 25 hours if I'm lucky. I haven't seen that name for a bit. I've been really busy, but we will start to show up again pretty soon. I might even do one this week. Very cool. Very cool. About time. Isn't it funny how real life gets in the way of the things that you really enjoy? So there are two options: stop drinking or stay drunk. God, you gotta flip a coin on that one. Stop drinking or stay drunk. Do a pizza truck, it's cheaper. Actually, Fish, and good morning, bud. Long time no see. Glad to see you this morning. Um, the place that I'm looking at um, is a nice little place. It's right back behind the bar on the next road back, and it used to be a yogurt, ice cream, milkshake kind of place, and it's basically, if I wanted to be a real jerk about it, I could rent the back end out as an apartment. There's a big room, then there's a much bigger room where a dining area could go and stuff like that, or even a living room or a sitting area type deal. And then there's a full kitchen back there with its own private bathroom, then a private entrance off the north side of the building, where the restaurant part itself um, is it's got a small dining room, it's got a kitchen area, it has a bathroom that if I wanted to put a wall right there in that bathroom to separate the bathroom from this walkway, it would have access to the back patio for outside dining along with the seating I want to put out on the sidewalk in front of the business. But all in all, and I think I said this the other day because I met with the realtor last Tuesday, week ago tomorrow, and it's 59.9 if I go on a land contract, or 55 if I pay cash. Um, but I've already got everything set up with local businesses to do a co-op deal, get all my local meat specialty cut for me at the grocery store, and then all my fresh produce and everything is coming from the farmers market. So I'm supporting my businesses here in town. And people here have showed a huge amount of interest, being the only solely pizza place here in town, but also the only place that delivers here in town. No place else will deliver here. So, not to mention it's nine tenths of an acre. I've got a huge parking area, grassy parking area, where we can throw parties, we can do bands, we can do all that stuff out there. So, all right, let me quit talking here for a second. Scoot back up through here. Like I worked at Home Depot, customer only. Look for me to help them out. That's exactly how it is, Deb. Good morning, by the way, bud. That's exactly how it is. They they want me. I'm professionally dressed. You know, I go out and I ask for their input on stuff. You know, I basically do the job of the cook and a server and a busser and a manager, because I'm out there talking to them about how they like things. I'll go out there and I'll ask them what type of crust they want. If they want it stuffed crust, if they want it thin, if they want it thick, how they want it done. How, I bust their tables for them. I refill their drinks if we're busy. I take care of my customers, and they like that. And I've had several of them tell me that they should, or that I should open my own business, because the things I do for the customers are appreciated by the customers, but they're not appreciated by the owners, which is why, I'm the newest guy. Therefore, even though I'm certified and everything else, I'm the lowest paid person there. But I do the most work and I'm on call 7 days a week. So I don't know. I'm considering the second. Amputation was a good one. Amputation was pretty good. I enjoyed that one. I did try that. It's not better. Two options. Stop mixing your drinks and no hangovers. You talked me into having a beverage Thursday. I had a beverage last night, and I had a beverage the night before, and I enjoy beverages. Picked up a day, but lost an hour each day. Stupid life. Had alcohol since last summer. Not that I quit, just desire to drink. They hit the playoffs. Okay, that's enough. Close to. Wait, where am I at? Oh, hell, it skipped. I wish to file a complaint. Please keep your cold acid winds. You side of the border. It's funnier in my head without the typo. I keep snowflakes on your side. I'm fine with that. When cheaper, those flakes will melt first. How do you make stuffed crust pizza? Do you use shredded cheese that you put on pizza? I actually prefer to use string cheese, but if I want to use string cheese, I have to go out and buy it myself. They're not just going to buy it because I'm the only one that will take the time to make a stuffed crust pizza. So what I normally do is I will roll it out really thin, or not roll it out, I'll toss it out really thin. About that far over the screen, all around. And then I will, as I pick it up and roll it, I will stuff it full of mozzarella cheese. And then I'll butter the whole thing and I'll roll it over and compress it onto itself. And that's how I make my stuffed crust there. But I actually prefer to use a cheese blend cheese stick and stuff it full. I mean, I want people when they get a stuffed crust pizza from me, I want them to get a stuffed crust. Let me see here. I'm in California. We didn't get no wind, snow, or rain. No, your ground just shakes and shit collapses, and um, one of these days you're gonna break off and become a Hawaiian island. But I mean, I still want to come there. I would love to. I'd love to come to California. I sit and I think of all the states I've never been to, and I've got a lot to see. I've got a lot to see. I've probably only been to 12 states. I've got a lot left to see. I had about 15 beverages last night. Woohoo! Drunk blondes running around their house, guys. Love that. Get unfavorable politics. Gunny, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing good. California's got more rules than it does people. I'm in Illinois. We ain't any better. Lack of favorable weather for about 300 days a year if they don't burn out first. California is only fun to visit. I'd like to visit California only once, build my immunity, like any other virus. Should I think I've lived in 12 states? I've lived in one, two, three, four, one, two, three, four. I've only lived in 4 states: Tennessee, Indiana, Michigan, and Texas. great day, everybody. Gotta head to work. All right, Jan. You take care too, sweetie. Have a good day at work. I'm actually off today, so I get to work on the video, and hopefully the wife will wake up somewhat early. She's only been home for a couple hours, less than 2 hours. So hopefully I'll get to spend some time with her today besides just dinner time tonight. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But you take care, honey. Have a good day, and we'll catch you later. Mark, you good-looking son of a... How you been, bud? Hopefully things are going well with the job and with these drastically changing weather conditions here. Hopefully we'll be able to get out and do something here real soon. I kind of miss hanging out with your big, tall self. Start giving these paranormal channels some more competition again. Working a lot. Oh, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. You are a busy dude, that is for sure. It feels like 12 countries living in Canada. I bet. I bet. God, I need a haircut. Yeah, me too. Miss hanging out with you. Also, I've been working on a couple of cemeteries. The LaPorte, Indiana area. Pretty cool. I've not been to LaPorte in a long time. Always wanted to go to Canada. Would love to go to Newfoundland. I've only been to Ontario. And even at that, I've only been to a couple places in Ontario. You know, cross the Ambassador Bridge out of Detroit into Windsor and go up through London to Chatham. And that's about it. I was invited up to the Mohawk Reservation years and years ago, like 23 years ago, but never made it up. So that's what happens when you ride back and forth to other countries with a large group of people carrying cannons and muskets and 50 pounds of gunpowder and a whole bunch of funny clothes. They don't want to go out of their way too awful far. They want to get across the border, get to their destination, and get back home. Probably because, you know, the stopovers on the bridge for the border patrol to get pictures with the cannons and holding our muskets. And that's always a fun hour-long wait to cross one way or the other. God, I need hair for a haircut. I've been to Canada. They have pretty money. They really do. I would love to get a collection of the different monies that they have in Canada. The coins and the paper money. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a good area. I've been doing research on the Bell Gunnis murders. That's an interesting story. That's definitely one I would like to do. I know Tommy and Randy, I believe, went to um, the house or the property where uh, those supposedly took place. East coast of Canada is the oldest. Oh, of course. There's a guy up in Muskokas. There's a guy up in Muskokas every summer blasts off a small cannon across the lake. That'd be cool. I love going through the forts. There's a lot of them too, man. There's a lot well, I don't know so much about Canada. We actually have quite a few of them here. And the further east or south you go, you find even more forts. There's two of them within 40 miles of my mom and dad's house in Tennessee. Um, one of them being an 1812 fort. Well, it was built in 1812, but the other one goes all the way back to right between the American Revolution and the War of 1812. It struck me that they accept American dollars and gave Canadian cash in change. They have a thing. They have a thing, one of the forts, where you could spend the night there. We actually have a fort in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It's a old historic Fort Wayne. We have a Fort Wayne in Detroit, but there's also Fort Wayne built by Matt Anthony Wayne at in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and that's one of the places that I regularly go to do in reenactments or whatever during the summer, and I will normally uh, get my um, RSVP in early, so I get one of the officers' quarters in the old barracks. You know, it's a single uh, feather down mattress with fireplace and all the cooking irons and stuff, so I can cook right over the fireplace and everything. It's even got the old sand glass in the windows. I mean, you can't beat it with a stick. Yes, but I got a leg up on them. I've been in contact with a family member. Good job, bud. Good job. Eight or 9 year old kid picks up odd stuff. You think you still can sleep over at Fort York in Toronto? Not sure if that's changed. That's cool. I got asked to stay in the fort at Fort Dodge, Iowa, but I couldn't do it. Damn, needing a job. Yeah. Yeah, before I get too old to enjoy it, I would really like to hit some of our forts across the country, you know, in the proper accoutrements for the time period, be it the Indian Wars or, 1812, American Revolution, Civil War, and, you know, do at least an unofficial, unpaid um, guide slash historian and talk to some of the visitors. But then again, I'd probably get kicked out because you know how I am about telling them that boo-boo kitty, fluffy, foo-foo history. I'm going to tell it just like it was, regardless of whether it was bloody and gory with body parts laying everywhere or, you know, sunny and 70. So yeah, I'll probably get kicked out. You know, it's kind of like dressing as a Disney princess when you go to Disneyland, or dressing up as a Star Wars character when you go to Disneyland. They won't allow it; they'll kick you out. So, but the East Coast, they were up since the Vikings attacked. No, the Vikings didn't attack. They were settlers. They were they were friendly. I know they did. God, I'm. What are my days off? Well, this week, my days off are today, Wednesday, and that's it. Well, no, wait. I just had this talk with Steph earlier. It's funny. Our schedule, our written schedule, the one that we, you know, the one that's posted on the wall in the kitchen, shows our work week starting on Sunday or starting on Monday and going through Sunday. We are paid from Sunday until Saturday. So, and whenever you ask them what days are in a work or in a pay week, they keep changing their answer. Another reason I want to get Papaw's Pizza set up because our work week is going to be Sunday through Saturday. But that way you always know what hours you work. But yeah, I don't know. But this week, yeah, I'm off. I was off yesterday, today, and Wednesday, and work the rest of the week. If we go with the written schedule, then I work 5 days this week. So I don't know. The French kept them, but the Vikings came before Columbus did and was friendly with the natives. Mondays are still good for future investigations. Yes. If I key up my radio, the YouTubers. Wow. Wonder if the radio operates, and this is going to sound really weird being two different devices, but I wonder if the input to the radio or the output to the radio runs on a similar sound frequency as a microwave oven. Because I've even noticed at work when I've got Pandora playing for music back in the kitchen, when I've got Pandora playing on my phone, whenever they turn on the microwave, Pandora it'll interfere with the Wi-Fi signal. Um, so I can't help but wonder if maybe the audio frequency of the output of your radio could be closely related or close to the audio output frequency of a microwave, which would interfere with a Wi-Fi signal. maybe should get my spectrum analyzer out and do an RF check. That might be an idea. Yeah, when my microwave runs, I lose my Wi-Fi. Yep. Oh, Tony, what was I going to say? Um, I need more coffee. I'm losing my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Message me on Messenger, Tony, and let me know when you send out that package. And that way I can make sure and let the wife know to watch the front porch. Because that's where it'll be delivered to. And right now, that whole the door to the front porch is the house ever catches fire, we're not going to get out that front porch. We've got boxes of clothes and toys and stuff stacked up there for the kids. You know, they went through the house fire thing here about a week and a half ago. People are still donating clothes and small pieces of furniture, toys for the baby, stuff like that. So we've got a stack of stuff right now, all stacked at the front door, which is our only available space. So I've got stuff in here, which is why you've been seeing me doing my intros and outros here instead of against the green screen, because I've got boxes and stuff piled up over there too. Boxes and bags and totes and let me see here. Frequency is kind of complicated because there are numerous harmonics to the. Yeah, okay. Just need to remember to ask about it when I go to the store. Well, you know, when I'm off work, I'm constantly checking. I'm constant. You know, looking out the front window, going outside, looking around the corner of the house, around the front of the house to see. So I just figured it's just as easy for you to message me on Messenger and say, "Hey, shipped it. Should be there in a couple days." That way, I don't keep running outside and you know having the rest of the family watching when I'm at work and stuff like that. Next month, yep, March, um, we have the Kalamazoo Living History Trade Show. As you guys that have been with me for a while might remember, that was the very first video, um, the very first video that I ever done for the original channel, and that was 6 years ago. That was 6 years ago. So this month we are celebrating our 6 year anniversary of being here on the platform, having fun, meeting good people. Oh, I know, I know. And then in May, um, yeah, May, like somewhere around the 20th. I have to check the date to be sure. Once again, I will be doing security for the Niles, Michigan Renaissance Fair. Um, haven't decided yet. Haven't decided yet what I'm going to do. I kind of want to do Viking, but at the same time, I want to be a complete and total ass, and I'm really I'm really thinking about doing an assassin. So I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I get that way when I eat some weed gummies. I keep checking outside and over my shoulder. You know, if I had problems falling asleep months and months and months and months ago, um, a friend of ours gave us two packages of sleepy gummies, and her and I both took them that night, and they knocked us right out, but they didn't help me sleep longer. So I have no problem going to sleep. It's staying asleep for the night where my issue is, and they don't make a sleep the night away gummy. So yeah, needless to say, we still have an unopened package and a partial package on my bedside stand because don't need them. Now that the wife's back to working nights again, she leaves for work at 9:30. I sit there and watch TV until I get tired, and I turn the volume down on the TV, take everything off the bed, move it to my bedside stand, and I go to sleep. And then I wake up usually about an hour before she gets off work, so I can unlock the door for her and make sure the daughter's out of bed at 6 o'clock. Damn huge flock of Canadian military just flew over. If they found a way to arm those things, if they found a way to arm those things, Canada would have the biggest air force in the world. I mean, her and I were out somewhere we were going out to see the kids, take things out to the kids the other day at her mom and dad's, and I think we probably passed 200 Canadian geese, either walking along the roadside or um, walking along the roadside or standing out in the field or crossing the road or something. So, is that a Canadian geese? Do you know that little men fly them? It wouldn't be surprising. Canadians are pretty resourceful people. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't breed special little like 7-inch tall pilots to sit on those things' necks and hold the reins and tell them where to go. We have a few thousand geese that winter here. Well, they're here year round. Yeah, and I believe that I believe the geese have absolutely no problem getting dual citizenship, um, because we have several of them here that come back as far as Michigan and say, "Hey, screw Canada. We like it here. We're gonna live here." You go through certain parks um, up around Kalamazoo and stuff like that. You'll see hundreds of Canadian geese out in the ponds and stuff like that. It's like, you little bastards, show me that passport. I'll message you later, brother. Have a great day. You too, Mark. You too, buddy. You get some rest, and we'll talk later. We'll get something going here real soon. We don't have to arm them, and they have their own bombs. Ever been hit by one from 400 feet up? Yeah, that thing hits your windshield going 85 miles an hour, right into your windshield. It's like hitting a bird. Yeah, it just splatters. Yeah. The geese are under protection of the Trump mystery. Yep. World War One Canadians were the baddest motherfuckers on the battlefield. Canadians are crazy, man. I love them. I've never met a Canadian I didn't like. Never met a Canadian I didn't call my friend. They're just as crazy and psychotic as I was in my 30s when I was up there the last time, and I love it. We were bad people in World War One. Yep. Now the only bad thing about Canada is Trudeau. Did I say that? Oops. I do feel for Canadians' political situation they're in. You have to feel sorry for Canadians and the political situation they're in. I mean, you really have to. I think we need to close off the southern border for a while and open our northern border up and say, hey, come on, guys. Come on down here. Become Americans. Our money's not as pretty, but neither's our you know, our backwoods areas. Our ducks aren't as, big as geese, but yeah. I skip right past the U.S. and keep going south. It's going to be fixed. Now, do you guys have elections like we do, or are they voted in? Are people like him voted in by the government? Um, do you buy your way into office? I mean, how do you? Um, I, I don't know. I've never really looked into it, so I don't know if you guys have elections like we do, or if it's if it's an assigned position or what. Oh, so the eclipse is coming right over Illinois. Lock up your valuables, folks. Yes, we have elections every 4 years. Kind of. Yep, it's 2024, guys. It is an election year again. Mr. Trump is back to, you know, doing his nationwide tour. And did you guys catch the news clips of him making fun of Biden on stage the other day? He's talking about how Biden will be up there talking, and every time that he gets ready to leave stage, he does this, and then starts walking in that position. What's even funnier is when he does this and then turns around and walks the other way. And of course, those Secret Service guys, they're up there. Take off chasing him. Even though we can vote in someone, we could also call for another election. Interesting. Speaking of eclipse, the schools are taking day off so kids don't look at it with their naked eyes instead of educating them. Hey, Justin. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good today, young feller. I try not to watch Trump. I don't like the guy, but I like Biden much less. Hey, I told you guys 3 years ago, send in those donations and I would run for president. The common dude for the common people. I think I'd make a pretty good president. Trump thinks democracy in U.S. is a fake. I refuse to comment to that um, out of fear that my comments will be taken out of context. Doing okay, still dealing with being diabetic. When you first get started, Justin, when you first get started on this diabetic journey, it's that's the roughest time that you're going to have. I can promise you that. Diabetes, like every other disease, is different for everybody. But the one thing is that if you need to be medicated, monitor your blood sugar every morning when you wake up, at least at lunchtime, and then after dinner. Watch your diet and don't listen to your doctor, because doctors go to school to learn how to treat these diseases, and they pretty much treat it like it's uniform for everybody, and it's not. It's individualized just like everything else is. So you have to be your own doctor. Monitor your blood sugar, watch your diet, and you know do your insulin if you have to. I feel better now that I'm not on all that medicine. I'm not sticking myself once a week. I'm not taking all the medicine that I was taking, the 13 different frickin' pills that they had me on every day. I'm taking a multivitamin. I'm taking a pill for my anxiety, and I'm taking a pill for My legs, only when they bother me. It's not an everyday thing because I have the neuropathy thing and restless leg syndrome. If it's not bothering me, I don't take a pill for it. But I actually feel better without that medication than I did on that medication. I feel younger. I feel stronger. So I'm even lifting weights here at the house and exercising every day. Also, remember, if your blood sugar starts to get high, go get some peanut butter. Eat a couple of big tablespoons of peanut butter. The protein in the peanut butter will start to drop your sugar. That's why, and it's funny because that's why Reese's cups are the best candy that a diabetic can eat, as long as you don't eat like a 2 pound bag of them. You have 5 or 6 of them. Um, the chocolate actually coming from a cocoa bean has a level of protein in it as well. So it's going to help bring you down a little bit. Then the peanut butter will bring you down. Yeah. Now type 2 is a different game. Um, you just need to be careful, dude. Just need to be careful. But always be honest with your doctor. If you're feeling a certain way on certain days or certain times of a day, let them know, because then they can adjust things. See, I've never known, as long as I've known you, as many years as I've known you, I've you've never showed those signs of being diabetic. So for it to all of a sudden crop up, in your 30s, it's very, very unusual, or in your 20s, I mean, it's very, very unusual, um, for it just to all of a sudden show. You should have been diagnosed type 1 diabetic years ago. Um, I ain't pro-gun enough. What do you mean I ain't pro-gun enough? The hell are you talking about? I believe that every home in America should have a gun, at least one serviceable firearm. Plain and simple. Have as many as you want, but I believe every home in America should have at least one serviceable firearm for home defense. Plain and simple. Keep something sugary. Democracy is a fake, or nearly there. Keep something sugary on hand at all times. Oh, yeah, see, I've always got um, wafer cookies or something around, um, just something like that, or working out in the yard, or whatever the case may be. Chocolate, type 1, different game. You better. Gonna ignore that, Tony. Chocolate has to be dark at about 70%. Peanut butter cups, chocolate, anything you get. The only thing to get you down is to get married. If it's less than 40% cocoa, it is candy, not chocolate anymore. I got a musket and an 1860 Army Colt. Good job, bud. We're supposed to be a constitutional republic, not a democracy. Good morning, by the way. How are you? There's Freedom. Good morning, dear. Good to see you. See what happens when I get on a tangent? I don't even see people come in. I just glanced up there, seen Danny was in here. Good morning, bud. Good morning, Drew. Hope y'all are well. Fine as a frog hair, split 3 ways. If I was any finer, if I was any better off, I don't know if I'd be able to live with myself. Oh, goodness, 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 goodness. Democracy is my rule. Now. Let's not get the FBI trying to bust in through my doors and windows and stuff while I'm at work. I don't want them. I don't want them scaring the wife away. Technically, if you sit and think about it, we do have, and y'all are gonna hate chat me for this. We have more freedoms here than a lot of other countries have, but but to exercise those freedoms, to exercise 70% of those freedoms, you need to be able to afford the permits to exercise that freedom. So I don't think that's what the founding fathers had in mind when they were talking about, freedom of speech and things like that. Only if you can, um, only if you can afford to get the permit to speak freely. But and if you speak too freely, then you are, inciting a riot. So you need to be politically correct in your freedoms. Definitely not what the founding fathers had in mind. So, FBI are like aliens. The FBI are aliens. What are you talking about? Say that kind of shit out loud. They're listening. Big Brother's always listening. There's reasoning behind governments wanting to funnel populations to cities. We think we have freedom. Most don't even know their rights. Very true. Very true. Hate chat. Permit, not free. Exactly. The art of speaking is free. The right of speaking, that's where you have to pay money for. Yeah, 15 in a city, that's why there's a bill. If they don't deem environment, if they deem environment unsafe, they can't rehouse people. License permission to break the law. Very well put. But yes, getting back to my presidential campaign, I believe every house in America should have at least one serviceable firearm on property for home protection. I don't believe there should be a limit to the number of firearms or the type of firearms that a person has in their personal protection, as long as they are legally obtained and they're not some kind of homemade RPG, unless you're hunting big game. Let me see here. I believe that taxes should never rise above 5%. If you go and buy something for $1, it should be $1.05 and no more than that. Legally, of course, legally, you go, if you go to Jay's gun shop and you want to buy, whatever, you should be able to buy it. If you're going to Jay's trunk on his car and Jay don't own a gun shop, then I believe, that should be watched, because that gun could have committed a murder or something like that, and then you're carrying around a gun that's wanted in an investigation. So yeah, that's why I say legally obtained, because it's not what you're going to do with the gun, it's not what the dealer done with the gun, it's what the jack-off that owned the gun previously, that you're buying it out of the trunk of his car, done with the gun, that's going to fall down on you. Shall not be infringed, aka no limits on armaments, not limits on stocks or rounds available. Agreed. Financial requirements of Civil War prompted first American income tax in 1861. At first, Congress placed a flat 3% tax on all incomes over $800. See, that's something else. All incomes over $800. I believe that if you have served in the American military, or you are currently serving in the American military, you should not have to pay taxes. When you go to get your license plates at the license branch, all of these states that want to charge a wheel taxes should be abolished. I don't think they should be able to tax you federally, tax you state, and then tax you for how many wheels your vehicle has. Because think about this. A trucking company that owns X number of trucks are going to pay for a tractor, and they're going to pay for a trailer. Well, a tractor automatically has 10 wheels on it. It's got 8 on the back, 2 on the front. But if you look at these big coal trailers and stuff, some of those things have got 28 wheels, 30 wheels on them. That's bullshit-taki. I have a few guns, financial crimes, I have a few guns, but I don't say how many, but it is almost enough. Taxation without representation is theft, plain and simple. Exactly. Very true. I would feel weird having a gun in my house, as does most Canadians when they move down here and they realize they have the right to go out and go through a background check and get a gun, whether it be a rifle, whether it be a hunting gun, whether it be a pistol, whatever the case may be. And for the first time in their life, they have got a gun and didn't have to go through 973 hoops with the federal government to get it. They passed the background check. They picked up their gun. They took it home. They picked up their their ammunition, and boom, boom, easy. Explicit definition and representation. Pay taxes on money you get from job, to pay taxes on everything you buy, land, and everything else again. Yep, I agree. Then again, if I was in the U.S., I would want a gun. Axle tax, another good one. Axle tax. A gun is a simple object like a kitchen table or a broom. Does nothing unless someone misuses it. Very true. I was brought up with no guns in the house, so it would be odd for me. The ones forcing checks, needs, checks, and balances for themselves create all these regulations for everyone but themselves. I got 2 guns, safes full of guns. I collect them. Some are hanging on my wall. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I wish I had a bigger collection, but I can't afford to live, let alone go out and spend whatever on the type of guns that I like. I carry a gun all the time. Too damned old to fight or run. Very true. I did have to go to the hospital, but I'm okay now. Wait, I got 2 gun safes full of guns. I collect them. I had to go to the hospital, but I'm okay now. Well, that's good. You see video where 400 plus sitting members of Congress are guilty of crimes, but still working. Yeah, definitely good that I mean, not good you had to go to the hospital, but, good that you're okay. Yeah, I mean, it would be great to have, you know, the extra income coming in to buy a gun once in a while, the type of guns that I like, which, always varies with people. I've always loved flintlocks. I've always loved percussion. Be it a musket, be it a rifled barrel, be it a pistol. But what do you do? I'll go to the Kalamazoo Living History Show next month and window shop again, like I do every single year. But I'm going. No, I didn't see that video either, Freedom, about the 400 plus members sitting in Congress. I did not see that, but it doesn't surprise me. It really honestly doesn't surprise me. The guy that tried to break in ended up in jail. I've done it once. It was not pretty. I love 44 Magnum. Isn't that a condom, Tony? Wow. But I'm not a caliber elitist. I love almost any gun. Well, same with me. I just like older model. I'm not big on modern guns. You know, I I mean, they have their place in the world, and I don't fault anyone for liking them. They're still a gun, and I love them. But my personal interest goes towards black powder. Not as many rules and regulations behind black powder. I can carry black powder pistols um, on my hip, whether I'm wearing a coat, whether I'm wearing a gambler's coat that goes down to my knees, or I can carry it out in the open. I don't need a license. I don't need to have them registered. I don't need to have a concealed carry permit. I don't have to have any of that stuff. And besides that, somebody pulls a little Glock out of their coat and tries to rob the gas station, and they hear behind them, and there's somebody with a pistol that long pointing at them. They have a tendency of thinking, holy shiitake mushrooms, what is that thing fire? I have Dirty Harry's 44 Magnum, and that thing kicks so hard, it's not even fun to shoot. I remember way back when I was little, my dad had right next to his um, Mexican six-shooter that he got back in 1966 when he was at White Sands, New Mexico. Um, he bought the chromed Colt six-shooter, and he had it in a Mexican holster. And hanging right next to that was a Saturday Night Special in the gun case. So right next to that was his riot gun. I mean, it was a shotgun that was only that big, and you want to talk about a kicker. You had to fire that thing from your hip, or you almost done a somersault backwards if you shot it, and it would dislocate your shoulder. So good. He said it is light 44 special. Gun be super mild with 44 special load. Gun laws only applies to gun-abiding citizens. Should apply to everybody, but you're right. All this gun talk is getting me wet. We'll give you a second if you want to go towel off, but I too have Dirty Harry's 6.5 inch 29 and a 6-inch 629, which is my favorite gun. Regulations only help the criminals. Very true. Good morning, Stephen. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. Hot 44 polished stainless steel, but it is in a Ruger, not Colt. I also have 357 and a Ruger case hardened steel. I love my cowboy guns. I wish the old man wouldn't have sold his to my uncle that passed away, and it got passed on to his son. I love to feel that holster growing up. I learned a quick draw with that pistol. It was only a 22 long rifle is what it fired. I call it a 6-shooter, but it was actually a 7-shooter. But you always keep that one chamber clear, or that one chamber on the cylinder clear. But I learned a quick draw with it. My dad actually learned a quick draw when he was in the Army at White Sands from an Apache friend of his. Well, he's half Apache, but still. But he taught my dad how to quick draw. and they used to shoot beer cans on the reservation or on the military base, and that's what my dad brought me up on. He would set up beer cans out in the field, and he'd pop that sucker up, tap 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 tap, and that's exactly how he taught me to shoot. When I was like 12. Even he's not joking. I have a stagecoach gun he's talking about also. Those old coach guns are nice. Those old coach guns are nice. I got napkins, thanks. Good man. My little avatar there is me touching my Ruger Super Blackhawk Hunter with a Magnum load. I don't get that empty cylinder thing. Things have a safer notch. Or Remingtons, you can drop the hammer between rounds. I don't really get it either, but it was always the way I grew up. And even today, they tell you when you're doing shooting like that to always have that empty cylinder. So I love this story, man. I'm a quick draw guy too. That's why I have all the cowboy guns. And see, I would do more cowboy reenacting and stuff if I had a couple, couple of decent little guns that I could go out and get the blank loads for, and go out and do cowboy reenacting. But alas, even at Christmas time when they're on sale, I can't afford them. That's what happens when you barely make above minimum wage and you give half your paycheck to your wife to cover bills that, yeah, you guys know the story. I've got a couple 30-inch double barrel 12s here. Always nice to have around. I have straw and paper napkins. Modern guns like the Rugers. There's no point. They're completely safe to fully load. Oopsie. Kick it off, kick it back on. Should be shutting off here real soon. We've got a Glock 45, an HR tactical shotgun. Guns are old, not safe to shoot. They said the same thing about Grumpy, that it wasn't safe to shoot. And then I found that place in Texas that sold blank 12s. And, well, that's what I bought. And I found out she's perfectly safe to shoot. My 30-30 1906 Winchester Model 94 saddle gun. Ooh, nice. I used to have a Winchester in 30-30 and 32 special. Nice. That's right. You keep right on working. Keep Daddy energized. Of course, blanks are different. You've not got that compression from it firing a projectile. So you haven't got that pushed back or anything. So yeah, that's, I would never fire a load out of Grumpy, being as old as it is. But I have no problem shooting 12 inches of flame out the end of that barrel. Just ask Lee. Just ask Lee. When he was up here last time we done that Civil War reenactment, he made the mistake of running right in front of me, and I'm back there running the camera. If y'all remember that video, he looked over at me just as I picked her up, and I dumped the first barrel. He fell backwards over the fence. So I just strolled out there in front of him and brought it back up. Of course, I did it the proper way. I brought the gun up and then moved it about 2 foot off to the side, but from the sidelines where the crowd was watching, it looked like it was pointing right at him. Emptied the second barrel. So, even the cameraman got involved in that killing. So the straws to wipe yourself when you see the gun, napkins, or after you shoot it. My 1906 Winchester 30-30 came from my grandpa. I cherish that thing with my whole heart. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. That Avatar pick is about 12th round I fired trying to capture that glorious Winchester 296 Fireball. I got to shoot a rifle. And I've lost track how many guns, modern and primitive, that I've shot in my life. I think I shot my first gun that wasn't, an air gun or something like that. I think I shot my first gun when I was 6. Of course, my dad was standing behind me, had me resting up against his chest. His finger was on top of mine. And, yeah, it was an old single action bolt, 22. And then I moved on to his hunting rifle. Shotguns. Jesus God. I can't even. I've shot old British military Brown Besses. I've shot 32 caliber squirrel guns. I've shot 69 caliber Tower pistols. God, 10 gauge, 12 gauge, 16 gauge. Springfields. Oh, Tony, I meant to ask you too. What type of gun is that? I forgot to ask you. The one you've got packaged up. Wasn't really into handguns until we got handgun deer season. I was 14. I used and shot many military firearms back in the day. I've shot 9mm, 45mm, M16A1. Christ. Now my kids, that were in the military, they got to fire the. They got to fire a. God, what do they call that? They call that a chain gun. The ones that are mounted on the back of the Humvees, and you just. Chew a tree in half, set it on fire, shit like that. CBA handgun, 16-inch barrel, modern muzzleloader. Okay, I got you. Yeah, belt fed. They, my oldest and my youngest bragged about that when they got to fire that. They had a tree at Fort Benning, Georgia, and they they backed a Humvee up, and each one of the guys got to get up there, and they just stood up in the back end of this thing, pointed it, and my youngest, he was most impressed. He said that thing started blowing huge chunks off the tree, and the rate of fire was so high that it actually set the tree on fire when they would hold it in one location for a few seconds. The tree would actually catch fire. So said it'd start to smoke, and just all of a sudden flames would appear on the tree from the heat hitting the same spots over and over again. It was just to listen to him talk. I was living vicariously, through my kids. I would love to have a Gatling gun. If nothing else, just to, for the parades, to take to Civil War reenactments and let people fire it. Not much else use for a Gatling gun except just sitting in the middle of your living room and, you know, just something else you got to polish up and shine up every day. But people have fun, they enjoy it. Um, they usually load belts with tracers. Yeah, that was it. They mentioned tracer rounds. Yeah, C-22 9mm pistol, M2HB, QCB 50 caliber heavy machine gun, C6, C6A1, 7.62 millimeter medium machine gun, C7A2, 5.56 millimeter auto anti-tank weapon, kind of like the M72. Ooh, nice. The M60. That's a reenactment gun that I would love to have. Is the M60. I seen one at Fort Meigs, Ohio one time. We were doing a timeline event. Now, a lot of your 1812 forts, they would build redoubts. You'd have a flat piece of ground, then a small hill, maybe 8 or 10 feet tall, and a flat piece of ground and a hill. And it would go all the way back to the fort. The wall of the fort was actually on top of a hill. So, you would have your wall gun with a 1-inch bore, about, 8 feet, 7 feet long, and that's what you would shoot outside the fort with. But then each redoubt was a different timeline. And we had Vietnam there. And it was so cool because I'm sitting here carrying a Brown Bess, 18th century rifle, musket. And some of the Vietnam soldiers walked by, and one of our friends got a picture of me holding his M60 and him holding my Brown Bess in uniform. And, I just love the feel of that M60. But I might actually get into Vietnam War reenacting if I can get my hands on M60. Now you hit that exception almost enough. Dr. Gatlin's pride. I would love to have a Modus. You have to mortgage the house to load up a 50 caliber. I got well, I had not a friend anymore. He was a friend of an ex of mine that moving from the gun thing a little bit. He had a deuce and a half Vietnam era um, that he bought at a military auction. And I would like to say it was his everyday driver, but it wasn't. Um, but he drove it in parades, done military encampments, things like that with it. It was really cool having everybody in uniform, fitting the time period, sitting up in the back of the deuce with the walls down and the cover off and everything. That big old diesel motor just, you know, going down the road, and there's all the guys sitting back there. You know, very impressive thing to see. Had it all painted up, military style. Won't be much of a reenactment for Vietnam. Huh? No, not really. Not really. But amazingly enough, you have, and you guys can ask, Mark about that if he ever comes back in again, or when he comes back in again, because he does um, Vietnam era reenacting, and it's something I've had an interest in doing, but just haven't got the chance yet. Of course, he carries an M16. I can't have the same gun as my friend. Gotta have something different. My local gun shop has a deuce and a half on their lot. Oh, that's cool. We've got a couple of them sitting around here. Quite honestly, could probably talk one of the guys into selling it. One of them, one of them's painted canary yellow. Yep. Why in the name of God Almighty they would take a combat used deuce and a half and paint it Tweety Bird yellow, I will never understand. Me personally, I would love to have it just so I could paint it back olive drab again, put the star on the door, and, get her back to her glory. But no military used vehicle should pass out of this world canary yellow. That's like taking a military used Humvee and and painting it whore pink. Just don't make sense. For that very reason, that why factor. Oh, how true. Oh, how true. I'll tell you what, though, honestly, anybody who lives within um, a few hours from Kalamazoo, Michigan, this the weekend of the Kalamazoo Living History Show is one weekend y'all should make a trip, get a hotel room, and go, especially if you love guns, because this is the show I was talking about last year, where they will bring out anything from Revolutionary War clear up to Vietnam, uniforms, guns, whatever. And they, things they've held on to for a year, maybe not sold. So they've got them like highly discounted at that show. I've seen muskets at that show, rifled muskets, early rifles, lever actions, whatever the case may be, in the couple of $100 range. So yeah, if a person's into collecting guns, or they like to go out and shoot guns, or even buy them in a not finished state and take them home and personalize them and finish them. Um, I've seen I've seen guns with all the accoutrements, you know, the the lock, the barrel, and a finished stock, but hasn't been stained or anything yet, or might be missing pins, or you know, got a real nice um, um, got a real nice lock and inlay in the stock and stuff, but it's missing a barrel, for $100. So I mean, I won't buy any more from stuffers. Stuffers? Can't say I've heard about them. Muzzle loaders. Front stuffers. I won't buy any more front stuffers. I got you. I thought it said it was down, the front was down behind that heart, so I thought you said from stuffers. I'm like, who are stuffers? But now that it's up there, I can see front stuffers. Yeah, definitely. And see, I like my front stuffers. I like my front stuffers when it comes to, like, my flintlocks and stuff like that, or my even my percussion rifles and muskets. But the pistols are always fun. Whether they're front stuffers or rear stuffers, they're still fun. Fun, I tell you. I might grab a cap and ball should I run across the deal on a walker. Actually, it's really funny we're talking about the gun thing. I told you guys um, about the This Is History video I'm working on for Thursday. They actually have an old, like an old person walker. They actually have one of the clips that I show in that is a prototype police gun that they were working on middle of the last century, 20th century. But it is a camera gun. It has got a camera lens right underneath the barrel. So it can record who you're shooting. (1847) Colt Walker. Look it up online, car. It's Walkers are nice guns. They're a big, nice gun. A big, nice gun. Definitely, definitely a gun that definitely the kind of gun that if you haven't got time to reload it, you could beat the snot out of somebody with it. Literally, you cave their skull in with it. And amazingly enough, that was not uncommon during the Civil War. Even the guys that even the guys that carried extra cylinders in their shooting bag or in their pouch, if they didn't have time to pull the pin, release the cylinder, slip a new one in, they could very very easily um, just take that thing when it's empty, grab it by the barrel, and just whack the hell out of somebody with it, and just crush their wherever that grip hits, just obliterate a person's brain pan. It's like a glob of metal that shoots bullets. It's not a light. It's not a light gun. I've heard people call them wrist breakers before, because you put enough load in that thing, and yeah, you feel it after you shot it. You know, 6, 7, 8, 10 times. You too, Freedom. Have a good day, hon. We'll catch you later. Probably weighs 4 pounds, something like that. Walkers ain't too bad. They are heavy. Yep, they are. Hot loaded 1860s worth. 4 pound, is that like 40 pounds Canadian? No, no, it's still, yeah. The value of money, I think, is the only thing that's different. I think weight is still. I think weight is still. 4 pounds, my ass. If your ass only weighs 4 pounds, you need to eat a hamburger. If your ass only weighs 4 pounds, you need to eat a hamburger. Because frankly, I would hate to hear that you lost another pound and fell through your own butthole and hung yourself. So, yeah, definitely, definitely. Get down here. I'll make you a pizza. I was told I have no ass, so the skin's like 4 pounds. That's okay. My wife tells me the same thing. Says, you have no ass. The walkers had several design issues that made them problematic. There you have it. That's why there's not a lot of them still around. But you have companies that do reproduce them and stuff like that. So, you know, authenticity is what it's all about. One, no, no cards, more like 1.81436948. The loading lever falling on each shot. The tendency on some to just blow up. Well, let's hope you're ambidextrous is all I can say, because when you blow this hand off, at least you still got this one you can shoot with. This is a funny show. Thanks. I needed to laugh. I try to make them all entertaining. I really do. But sometimes Tony's just not on the ball with me. I mean, it just he's in rare form today, and I love it when he's like this. Yeah, they didn't produce that many of them. It was right around 1,000, 1,200. No more than, I don't think any more than 1,200. Um, but yeah, it was a very very small number when you look back into the production of them and stuff. Oh, fuck, is this my fault? Oh, I didn't say it was your fault, man. You're just like you're in great form today, dude. You must have made your coffee extra strong this morning, like I did, me, because you're in great form today. I would gladly do a show with you any time of the day, any day, especially when you're in form like this. I don't even care about the subject matter. Hell, we could sit for 2 hours and talk about guns, even though I only know about the primitive guns. You know about the modern guns. It's always extra strong. Yeah, I had to put the basket on this coffee maker almost wasn't big enough this morning because I had to go out and buy cheap coffee the other night because, well, I'm a poor dude. So you guys haven't seen this one in a while. I was holding up Black Rifle for so long, but I had to go out and buy White Label in a metal can. So the basket on this coffee maker um, almost wasn't big enough to hold all the coffee to get this stuff as strong as I wanted it. Oh, modern, really? All this and my other shit don't catch my fancy. You need a guy that doesn't know shit about guns. So you have to explain. Three-man table. There you go. Look up Dragon Man's collection. It's amazing. Dragon Man's collection fish. I'm not familiar with Dragon Man. With a name like Dragon Man, you would think he'd be into swords and knives and shields and ballistas and catapults and shit like that. He does a lot of full auto stuff. Hmm. Have to check him out. He has a collection out of this world. Pair of anguish. Pair of anguish. Hmm. I have to check him out. Someone ain't heard of Puff the Magic Dragon. Interesting. He has a museum, old medieval torture device. I'm still on the walker. We got car going, guys. He's still up there, split screening. He's got us playing in the background while he's reading about the walker. The pair of anguish. I wanted to do a video here a couple months ago on old medieval torture devices, and I can't find a lot on them. I'm seeing these different torture devices in different videos, but when you go to look for a background on them, it you don't find anything. I believe it was nicknamed for the A-10 in Vietnam. Hmm. Yeah, I seen a picture when I was going to do that video here a couple months ago. I seen a picture of what looked like three or four different torture devices that I had seen combined. They had the tongue screw that, you know, screwed the plate to your tongue so you couldn't talk. But then the um it had the collar with the spikes on the inside on the stick. But on the bottom of it, it had the fork that come up here so you couldn't open your mouth without the forks piercing you. And it looked like three or four different torture devices put together that I had seen through history. And it's like, okay, somebody made a Franken device here, and I really thought the walker was an old person tool, but now it's still old person tool. But I'm feeling like I need it. Yes, we do have walkers that are aluminum that old people walk around with. Some of them are walkers and rollers. They have four legs, but two legs have wheels on them. So, and then you have the kind of walkers that blow holes in walls and people and car doors and whatever else. Yeah, the fork, like the fork of the heretic. Yeah, nagging women is torture. Oh, don't all of us that have one know how true that statement is, Fish? How well we all know. Handle one before you buy. You might find 1851 or the 1860 much more pleasant. You know something, kids? I'm enjoying this so much. I might actually hang around for a few extra minutes. What do you think? We're having a good time here. We're talking about nagging women. We're talking about loud guns. What else is there? Brazen Bull probably was the most painful of all the devices. Yes, yes, to be placed inside this great big steel statue and have a fire lit under its belly where you're either going to burn your feet and hands, you're going to burn your knees and hands, you're going to burn your knees and elbows, you're going to burn your chest, if you're touching the bottom of that thing and the fire gets hot enough, you're cooking in there. That's all it is. You're cooking inside that thing. So definitely the Brazen Bull, or what I always called the Blazing Bull. Definitely one of the, I think probably one of the worst imaginable ways to be tortured to death back in the Middle Ages. The Walker was the most powerful handgun in the world until like 1935 when the 357 Magnum came out. (1847) 1935 was a good run. Damn straight it was. Torture. Ha. A wife and 4 teenage daughters. Dude, to hell. No. Too much estrogen in me. It's like Jeff Dunham's little buddy Walter says, I thought it was going to be a good day till she jumped on her menstrual cycle and ran my ass over. No. That much estrogen, I'm pulling out the raft. I'm sitting it in the middle of the living room, and when the room starts to fill with estrogen, I am paddling my ass out of there. Just as hard as I can. Okay, I see. They cut back metal in 1851, added some more in 1860, but still more than half the size. 1860 is the halfway mark. I fear nothing. I'm guessing gun ranges have them. Yeah, see, our gun ranges down here, you take your own guns in. You take whatever in. You can take percussion pistols in, you can take modern pistols in, you can take rifles in, whatever. Especially our outside ranges. Those are the fun ones. I don't know. Or there's a lot of extra shit to a muzzle loader. Don't know gun range that has guns for you to use. I've never seen one either. Honestly, Dev. Many ranges have rental guns. Man, not around here. Not around here. You bring your own guns in. I mean, we have 2 gun shops here, one in South Bend and one in Elkhart, that have gun ranges in the basement. But still, you have to take your own guns in to use them. Some up here in Canada, they have guns for people that don't have guns. Huh. Mine does. They let me try out Super Black Hawk Hunter. Never shot a Black Hawk. Had a boss that had a Black Hawk. Loved to hunt with it. Never had a chance to shoot it. We went out many a nights. We'd finish work early and go out to his little shooting range out behind the house, and we'd shoot. Morning, bud. Good to see you. I'm glad we stayed over a little bit. Had you give you a chance to come in. Also in Canada, you can bring your own guns to the range. Sure, I paid for it. I should say. Shh. But I guess after 30 years, things change. Yeah. The one thing that never changes is everything changes. Well, I shot mine 24 rounds first time, then I had to stop. 24 was more than enough. Well, at least you had a chance to get it sighted in. You know, you after 24 rounds, you know that you know that little bang bang inside and out. No, no work today. Today is um, I'm off today. Work tomorrow. Off Wednesday. Work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, nope, no work today. Today is entertain you and video time because this I'm telling you this video I'm working on for Thursday right now is just freaking hilarious, man. Some of the some of the things that they actually consider history, weird inventions. Of course, there's some stuff in there about John Glenn and um, what else? The Olympics, things like that. But yeah, this is some of the inventions are absolutely freaking hilarious. Automated nurseries, camera guns, flying cars. Yeah. Well, next trip to the range, and I won my Smith and Wesson SD9. There you go. Oh, okay, found out. You simply pay for the ammunition used plus $10 per box rental charge for the firearm. Gotcha. Well, all I can tell you guys is that if this pistol that Tony has got for me, because he's been looking for me a decent gun for a year or better. So all I can tell you is if this pistol is as pretty as I think it is, it's probably going to become my everyday carry. So you will probably very seldom ever see me uh, filming outside or something like that you don't see that pistol on my side. Because when it comes to guns, you know, um, Tony would be the one that I would because I've known him, for a while now, being on here. But I would, yeah, I would definitely trust Tony when it come to the gun thing. I bought the thing to deer hunt with, but I bought 629 in the end term and like it better. It is too big. I'm gonna have to have Nick build me a special holster for it with an extra thick belt to hold it up and an extra thick pair of suspenders to hold my pants up. I picked the thing up for deer, not carry. A body harness. Well, you notice I didn't say a shoulder holster, right? Or a shoulder sling. Those, I would like me I'd like me walking around like this, having it under my left arm. So okay, putting away dishes before the wife gets home. I'm listening. All right, car, that's cool. Thing is nearly 3 feet long. I'm looking so forward to this thing. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think I might need a napkin or something. Do I have anything around here? Okay, here we go. Here we go. I might I might have to, you know, um I might be getting a little wet myself. Shoulder sling is the I for one. I I unbox this thing. I'm gonna unbox this thing for y'all when I get it, and I'm you're probably actually gonna see me cry a little bit. It just it just sounds like heaven. I have straw here for my dogs. Oh, hold on. Anything to get emotional about. Yes, it is. Yes, it is because you got it for me. I get very emotional over guns, especially guns I'm going to enjoy shooting. You sit and describe it, Tony, and it reminds me of the pistol that Jack Nicholson, as the Joker, pulled out in the very first Batman to shoot down um, the Batwing during that parade in the first Batman movie. I just imagine, he pulls his coat aside and pulls out this revolver that's got like a barrel that's 2 feet long, and that's. Well, sometimes I might have to. I might have to shoot. You know, just powder in a wad. Um, when I take it out to shows and stuff, but um, yeah, for the most part, she's going to be a. It's not like a break action 410 shotgun, but the butt stock. with the, no, it's like a break action 410 shotgun with buttstock cut off. Still cool. Still cool. Oh, okay. I'm done sobbing. I'm done sobbing. I can go back over on the table. The thing takes 209 shotgun primers, so it will be reliable. Very cool. Very cool. What's better than a good looking gun? A good looking, reliable gun. Uh oh. If I'm going to be drinking coffee for a while, I better make another pot when we get done here. I'm down to about half a cup of coffee left. Which reminds me, I need to order some 209s. There you go. I'm glad all this talking about it reminded you of that. The Walker 1860 is a good gun. It has the don't forget with me look with some slap you silly. There you go. That's a good way to describe the Walker right there. It's got that it's got that you won't forget me because I'm beautiful look with the turn your back on me and I'll break my foot off in your ass kind of thing going with it there. It, it's kind of like it's kind of like a beautiful woman. They're really nice to look at. They're really nice to touch. They're really nice to handle. But at the same time, you know, in a split second, it will grab you by your gozers and it will squeeze until you scream like a little girl. That, that's a Walker. The 1860 is quite a bit lighter and sleeker. Oh, where the first one I've seen was like you can't hit it, you can't hold a shoot look. Yeah, yeah. Don't forget, guys and gals, and whoever's still in here lurking in the shadows and ain't talking. Just remember, we are still, collecting for the kids. They did have they did have that house fire a week and a half ago. They're trying to find a new place, um, trying to get furniture and all that stuff. Right now, they are saving every little penny they got. We were actually trying, since they're staying with um, her mom and dad right now. We were trying to talk them the other day into just taking $100 and going to stay in a hotel one night to get away from the stress, to just defuse and everything, and let the baby run around and bounce off the furniture and stuff. Because her dad is a big hunter, so he's got taxidermy all over the house. And, because there's not been any little kids in the house in many years, he's got taxidermy stuff just sitting, 2 feet up on the wall. He's got four walls in their TV room that's nothing but heads and racks and stuff like that. So, we were trying to get him. They didn't have the money. They didn't want to do it. So they're trying to save every single penny they got to get moved into a place, to get furniture again, to get everything. So we are still collecting for them. Um, so, that's the. It was too big. The walker is like picking up a log to hit someone in 1860 is a baseball bat. That's a good description right there. That's a good description. The walker on a full load. I mean, the walker not only is heavy, but it's got that tremendous boom to it when you shoot it. Where the 1860 was a lot lighter, and it didn't have as big a load. Um, so it was much easier to aim and shoot. Much more fluid. Let's put it that way. And after you've emptied two cylinders, it don't feel like your wrist or your hand is about to fall off. So yeah, I've seen guys shoot walkers. I've held a walker. I've never got a chance to shoot a walker. But, I've seen these guys, and after a while, they'll start to, and they'll put it back in their holster, and they'll pull out a Colt, 40 caliber or something, or a 36 caliber, and they'll Navy, and they'll start shooting that instead, give themselves a little bit of a break. The walker was designed to have the ability to kill a horse. There you go. There was some pretty incredible guns that came out in the 19th century, and you know, the more guns modernized, they became lighter. Some of them became sillier. I remember one, and I don't remember the name of it. Tony would know this. Tony, some of you guys here in the States would probably know this. I cannot remember the name of that gun, but it was a regular gun on top, but the bottom shot a shotgun load. And you want to talk about a gun that'll kick your butt. The top fired just fine, but when you fired that shotgun load, one-handed, boy, you felt it in your wrist, you felt it in your elbow, you felt it in your shoulder. Imagine, imagine taking an old coach gun and holding it out straight and just firing one barrel of it. That's a lot like this pistol felt like. I have seen dudes shoot that thing and jerk back, and I mean, you could see. Lamont, thank you. Yep, it was the Lamont. Let me see here real quick. See if I can pull this up where you guys could actually see it. There you go. Okay. No, back up. Um, Images. Let me see here. Um, that's a Lamont. And that's pretty much easier than shouldering recoil wise. Lamont was a fairly hefty thing, 9-shot with a 20 gauge in the center. Yeah, it was the Lamont was definitely one of those reach out and touch someone type pistols. Well, that sounds like a Canadian goose right there. I hope those killer, crazy, psycho dogs down the alley aren't killing a Canadian goose. That's all I can say. That goose is screaming. I'm hearing. Don't kill that goose. It has diplomatic immunity. But all right, guys. I stayed on an extra half hour for y'all. Goose probably chasing the dogs. Dude, I'll tell you what. You seen these crazy ass psycho dogs down here. You wouldn't be thinking that. Um, they've got pit bulls, full size bullies, um, and full bulldogs out there. And those animals are freaking crazy, man. Colt also made 3 variants of Dragoon. It was slightly smaller than the Walker, still large guns. The Dragoons are nice. I've always been a fan of Dragoons, whether it was a 17th century Dragoon or an 18th century Dragoon or a 19th century Dragoon. Dragoons have always been nice. The old British Dragoons that they used during the Revolution, that was a big gun. That was a 69 caliber pistol. I mean, it had a bore like a Brown Bess did. So, I mean, it was a definitely sending my love kind of pistol. What you should be saying is that I hope that goose isn't killing some kind of stray dogs. Canadian geese ain't afraid of much. I'm told if you want her home, get a gander. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But it's that time, guys. I got to get working. I've got a lot of editing to do on that video for Thursday. Plus, I have my normal honeydews to do here. So we're going to cut this now, and we're going to do our thing. So there are various issues people didn't like with the walkers. Very true. But we have already scheduled a live stream for Friday morning, and I will be here. It'll be a short stream because I got to go to work, but we already got it scheduled. So be looking for tomorrow's video, and definitely be looking for Thursday's video because they're both well worth it. So that's it, y'all. Until Friday morning. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. We'll catch y'all here in a few days. Have a good week, y'all.